just to put it in the context, I don't normally carve this type of stuff. I normally carve big pieces for different people. Waka mainly, so waka background, coming from the far north. I used to carve wakas up there for a gentleman by the name of Hector Busby. I've done my tutelage under another man called Takirirangi Smith. Takirirangi Smith, he's from Kaununu in the Wairarapa, and so he's carved a lot of the meeting houses around here and in the King Country, and he's also was a good friend of Hector's, and that's how I got the privilege to get up to a place called Aurere out in the mangroves. It's quite a remote place, right by the beach, and that's where we did a lot of our carving. We carved Cody, all Cody up there, so he had access to logs that had been dug out of the swamps up there still, and so we've been carving those for different people. We carved a couple for in Wellington there, the whare waka in town there, as part of the team that carved those wakas under Hector, and there's multiple others. But anyway, getting back to Cody, it's all about the love for Cody. So yeah, I've definitely got an affinity for that type of rākau. So yeah, I was able to source that rākau, the Cody, because of that. So yeah, the whakapapa on the Cody is 800-year-old Cody from, well, they say between 8 and 1,000, but it's debatable. But it's from the far north, so that's where the mauri of the rākau comes from. It's from the far north, and that's where it grew.
And is that wood likely to have come out of a swamp?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah. All of it's coming from the swamps now. Yeah, if they can still get it. It's quite ironic because I actually whangaida a fellow who was from there, didn't realise it all these years later. He's a gum digger, his whānau are the gum diggers, he's a Martinovich. And then, I don't know if you know the Viches. Well, there's some whānau there that went up there specifically to get the gum from the Cody trees back in the day, and that was his whakapapa. Yeah. He's actually in the Navy now, he's actually really high up in the Navy. Funny. Anyway, that's another side story. We can talk all day about this rākau. Yeah, so we come up with the design based on your tops. When I put the paint on, it actually darkened in places, especially the pink, the fluorescent pink. When I looked at it, it was the right colour. Did the colour compare? But when it went on, the rākau had another idea for it, and it's come out the way it's come out. Yeah, maybe a couple more coats might brighten up. Who knows? Yeah, and even the tour. So we sort of started looking at the lettering and looking at the colours of the lettering to align with your plain colours as well. We have a Modi stone. So in the middle of both of them, there's a power insert. Funny, this power that I found was out of all the powers, it was quite a dark power. I thought that was another tohu again, similar to your fella's plain colour. And I was like, when I got one of them, I had another one chosen, but it was a lighter one from a different power. So I had to try to find that power and put another power.
Off a local beach?
Yeah. They're probably from the Wairarapa actually. Yeah. So the Modi stone in the middle. This represents the Modi stone of the club. It's to do with the people that reside in the club. It represents Wānana. Wānana is whatever your fellas kaupapa is. So you come together. So people will come to play, to be part of the club. And this here represents that wānanga that you are all a part of. So they're on both of them, right in the middle here. Yeah. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing, is the Māori stone. And it's centred on purpose, because that's what brings you all together, and that's the common kaupapa. On each side we have the rapirape, 3 rapirape, which represents your three values, which are manakitanga, rangatiratanga and hauora. So these are the 3. It's mirrored. It gets mirrored both ways. And there's a couple of reasons for it. It can also, but for this, I think it's mirrored both 3 ways, is because you can add things to it. But some people talk about future changes, so it's mirrored so that you could add if you needed to add. But they represent, and they come up into the wānanga, so to speak. This here, this rapirape and onanahi, and this talks about another. So when you drop a pebble into water, it has ripples, and this is the effect of all the three values that you have. It has a ripple effect, and so each one, boom, boom, boom. It's like a vibration that happens, and that's what this represents, about the good things that can happen with your virtues and your values. So this also represents journey as well. So they say that with rapirape, it talks about the journey of life. And so when you ascend, so when you become a man, so when you're a boy, you're a boy. When you're a teenager, you're a teenager. When you become a man, you're a man, and then you can become a kaumātua. And so this talks about the levels of development that you go through, that everyone goes through while in this wānanga. Oh, there's also these unanahi. They call them fish scales. In the far north, 4 fish scales, but for down here it's 3. No, it's significant to Māori talk. They have they talk about 3 waka, about the waka migration to Aotearoa, and they talk about 3 waves: rehutai, waikahua, and waikatohu. These are the 3 ways, but they're also the 3 waka that are also from here. And so this represents we all come from different places, and we all come together for this kaupapa. Oh, the taniwha, you fellas know what that is. That's your fellas' whakapapa. Yeah, I was normally I don't carve just like this. This is 2D carving. Normally it's the 3D, but just because of the time restraints and everything else, yeah, that's what happened. What else? I think the difference is the we did the heart, the nako on this side here, which represents the wairua side, and the taniwha for the tō side. Yeah, tiribiai. It's tiribiai. I thought that was quite cool because it was blue, and when I seen it, it was at this place just around the corner here. I looked at it and it sparkled at me there, and I thought, yeah, you might be wondering why did I go that way? Well, it's just the colour and it sparkled at me. Sometimes, and I had that in my mind was, I've been moving away from power and experimenting with other mediums, so that was the reason for that eye. But yeah, to be changed out if you wanted it to be power at some stage. I guess when it falls out, that's probably the time. Well, I don't think it's going to fall out, not with the glue I'm using.
That looks really good, that pop say.
Oh yeah, okay, so we've got this base plate. This is quite an interesting thing. I actually messed it up. I don't know if you've noticed that there's a little black seam around the edges and the seam when I cut it. I cut it too big, so I had to put extra glue in basically, and I wedged them in. This thing won't move, I tell you man, this is like solid as. Yeah. And so the base plate, so originally I envisioned a base plate the thickness of this, so I was going to double down on the piece of rako that I got. I was going to use the rako for the base plate and for the whakairo. But what happened was when I got the wood, it was significantly smaller than what I imagined. So what I ended up having to do was I ended up having to laminate this. This is actually two pieces. There's actually two pieces in it. So I laminated them together to give us the size that I intended to carve. So that's what happened, and then I was able to get another smaller piece. And this is the base plate. This was the smaller piece that I put down. Originally it was meant to be a kuru. I was designing a kuru design in the base, but what happened was it turned into something else. It turned into the cricket pitch.
Oh, right.
So basically, you got a ball at each end of the pitch, and this was meant to be the pitch, the mangopare. Mangopare design becomes the pitch. I also had the niho taniwha design originally on the top of this. It just didn't look right once I started carving it, and so I put it into the base, incorporated it into the base plate. So I put the teeth of the taniwha into the seam of the cricket ball, and so this kuru actually becomes the seam of the cricket ball. The cricket ball. The mangopare, I don't know if you know what mangopare represents. So mangopare is a certain type of shark. It's a fighting shark, this one. And when you think it's dead, it actually plays dead sometimes, but it's not actually dead. And so it's been renowned that they fight. They'll bite you if you think they're dead and you walk past one and it's not dead. You'll take a go, you have a go at you. And so that's what this represents, the spirit of the team, the velocity of what you bring to the cricket. I've seen some of the things that is definitely in line. The way you play, there's a lot of energy there, and that's what I think the mangopare design represents. It represents your athletic prowess. There you go.
I never said
Don't hear that often.
Yes, that's what we're talking about now. So we're talking about that stuff. There's also in the carving here, we got the puhoro design. Puhoro design is related to waka again. You always see them at the prow of the waka. It represents speed and agility, and that's what this also represents in terms of the athletic prowess.
That's me in a nutshell.
Yep, and so the puhoro design represents that. There's also kuru in there too. Kuru represents emergence and growth.
Speed and agility.
And so that's pretty much it on one level. There's probably another couple of levels, but I think for use, that's what this sort of encompasses. Yeah. Is there any questions?
So when starting, I know Dan gave you a bit of a brief or a bit of inspiration, but
Yep.
What did you take from that? And
Oh, everything.
yeah,
So basically it was used, there was a history coming out from the club here that you had formed a cricket team, and then at some point It's grown into 2 teams, and then there's been one that's sort of become a bit more competitive, and that's why there was 2 decided. There was actually 3 decided. The third one would have been, that would have been a lot of work, that one. Yeah, because I would have incorporated a lot of other stuff into that one. But
Keep your schedule clear for about
12 months.
March next year.
yeah, I'm pretty backed up for about a year. So
You'll fit it.
yeah. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, that's the main thing. The designs can be transferable onto kakahu, onto clothing. Just need to make sure that you don't put them on certain parts of the body. Yeah, especially around the bum. Don't put any designs around there. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Right. Cool, man.
Yeah, they just look dry.
So just a bit of linseed, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of linseed.
Any trick to that? Do's or don'ts?
No, just
Rotational.
yeah, just brush it on and then rub it in. Rub it in with a rag. Yeah, just rub it in. Put your sweat in there. Put your modi in there.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
what you do. Feed it your sweat. Yeah, it'll be a part of you,
Right.
and you a part of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I polish it every day.
Yep. Yes.
And just whenever it starts to brown off.
Yeah, it will darken up. It will darken up. I can see it now. I can actually see my grinder marks on it. That's good. A lot of carvers carve their carvings and like them to be like a machine finish. I prefer them not to look like that.
So you don't use Dremel, the Dremel?
No.
How does that?
No, I actually I like to see the saw cuts and stuff like that on there. It just reminds
Natural.
me that it's from the land. It's not done by a machine. Yeah. And you get a lot of carvers like to go that way. And I don't.
So your modi's in that design with those marks as well, you know, I suppose.
Yeah, I purposely make it a little bit rough,
Yeah.
rougher than normal.
Yeah.
And every cut in there also represents, a story. That when you bring your each one, there'll be one cut for you, and in the story of this Whakairo as well.
When you say that we can add to it, what do you mean by that?
So it's intended. The intention is that you can add more to it if you need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more
the
pieces,
grows.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
that grows, yeah.
Yeah.
Like more pieces of wood and with
Oh,
more
we
carvings
could,
or
yeah,
like,
we could possibly add more carvings.
what other things would you consider adding to it? Obviously the names of the individuals who win it, but
The shield stayed on the back.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd change anything with these ones, but I
Right.
would add different other types of carvings as well.
Yeah, so if we grow, you know, each new team can get its own one sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Modi will stay with the team.
right.
Yeah. If at some point, and this is something for you fellas, at some point that the Modi changes too much, and this doesn't represent the Modi of what you think that what these are about,
Yeah.
then you're obligated. You're obligated to look after them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever that may be.
Mm.